Hey, CEO teachers, and welcome back to the show. It's been a long while since I've done a show from the heart where it's not all scripted. No, don't get me wrong. There are some parts that are scripted, but today we're going to talk about how I was tired of my family getting the rest of me. And I've got 10 different ways that my life has changed completely since I started selling my lessons online, since I started helping other teachers, the people that have been put in my life, the path that I have gone down, how the last 10 years have changed me. And it's no secret that the CEO teacher membership, the doors are now open. They opened yesterday, and you can join us by going to caseymorris.com/join. That's KAYSEMORRIS.com/join. We'll close the doors on Sunday, and that'll be June the 30th. And then that's the last time we'll have the doors open for 2024, because we want to make sure that we're helping teachers get as much out of this as possible. So our membership is the world's only online business school for teachers, and it teaches teachers how to live a life of more freedom, more fun, and more flexibility by making the income that they deserve and finally making their worth. But today's episode, it's really not about money. It's more about living. And I have been granted the gift of life in the last 10 years. And that's special, right? It's unique. And they say, okay, I posted something on social media the other day and someone said, right, but you had to have money to do all those things. And yes, and no. I worked really hard to get to where I am so that hopefully you don't have to. But also, I want you to see what living looks like, what making money to free my family of debt did for my life. So it's really not all about the money that you can make. It's about the life that you can live. And I was recently watching the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce saga. Allie on our team, who is, one of the most dearest humans on the planet, her and I have a love for Taylor Swift. If you don't love her, that's fine. This story won't take long. But recently she was playing at Wembley Stadium. She sold it out a whole bunch of times. Travis was there, her boyfriend. And then she does a very theatrical performance now with the Torture Poets department. Am I saying all this right? I don't know. I feel like I'm not enough of a Swiftie to be able to quote all these things. But she does a very theatrical part in the show. And on the last day that she was playing there, Travis did a pop in, and he popped up and he was part of the show. He was part of the performance. And it was so beautiful to watch, right? Two people madly in love that have come so far in such a short amount of time. And it made me think about when they first got started. Travis was creating friendship bracelets to give to her at one of her shows, and where they are now. They both had this desire to find love. They both had this desire to live a different life than they were living. And through the power of knowing who they wanted to be, knowing who they were supposed to be, and a little bit of action of building a friendship and a relationship, they've gotten to where they are today, which is bringing him onto a stage and having him be part of a performance where she's in front of all of these people. And it made me think a lot about our business as a teacher. Is like we know what we want. We are able to see it, and we work hard for it a lot of times in the classroom, but we're not necessarily taking all the right action and believing and seeing the life that we're supposed to live enough to be able to get to that end result, that living life on the stage, living life in a beautiful new way. And so in today's episode, I want to show you what that stage or what that next part of your life could look like if you decide to join us in the CEO teacher membership and start working on creating, manifesting, believing in the person that you are supposed to be. So stick around. You don't want to miss it. Get ready for 3 days of fun in the sun learning with teachers around the world and set yourself up for a profitable teacher summer without having to leave your beach chair. Right now, you're probably busy catching up on sleep, hot coffee, and non-scheduled bathroom breaks. Anyone else's head nodding along. But before you officially forget what day it is, go now and save your poolside seat and grab your VIP invite to the teacher party of the summer by going to caseymorris.com/sign up. Stop wondering how to stretch that 10-month paycheck into 12. From the lesson plan, money blueprint to top tier teaching, marketing, and everything in between, I'm breaking it all down for 3 days only. I am pulling back the curtain and sharing the secret sauce, the tips, the strategies, and the tools that will help you turn your classroom influence into income and your poolside passion into profit. All you got to do is save your seat by going to caseymorris.com/sign up. Then you can kick up those tired teacher feet, sip on a fruity drink, because friends, this is your moment. You've earned it, and I'll see you inside of our free video training series. Again, it's KAYSEMORRIS.com/sign up. All right. So I mentioned before that it has been a while since I've spoken straight from the heart here on the show, but I want to help you feel worthy. I want to help you feel full of life again, one that allows you to see the good and the bad. It gives you the freedom to do whatever you are put on this earth to do. My friends, the time is now. So I want to give you 10 different ways of how my life has changed. The title of the show is I was tired of my family getting the rest of me, but I was also tired of me getting the rest of me. And so when I started selling my lesson plans, I didn't see the whole vision, right? Of course, I couldn't see 10 years down the road. I couldn't see what my life would look like. All I knew was that I was very unhappy in my job. And the first gift that I was given was that after a couple of years, 5 years of doing this, I was able to leave a job I was unhappy in. I loved being a teacher. And so it's hard for me to say I was able to leave a job I was unhappy in because I did love that aspect of it. But what I didn't love was all the other rules and regulations that we were under, right? Having to teach the standards, having to be there 40 hours to 50 hours a week. I knew that there was more to life than just that, but I didn't know exactly what that might look like. I knew that I didn't want to get out of bed most days and didn't want to be forced to go to work. And I know that I took all my mental health days. Every day that I was given as a day off, I was so grateful for it. And so the first thing that selling my lesson plans and my teaching materials online gifted me, it was 5 years in, and it was the ability to leave a job that I was very unhappy in. And I didn't start seeing all of the pieces of this beautiful, new, vibrant life until I did leave the classroom. Because when I was working full time as a teacher and building a business, I was in grind mode. I was in complete tunnel vision. And so the second thing after I started to wake up from that, to be able to see life for what it was that selling my lesson plans and my teaching resources online, it allowed me to fall back in love with being a mom. I was not a good mom when I was a teacher in the classroom. I wasn't a good mom because I gave 118-ish kids a day, a lot of me. And so when I got home, I remember I would walk in the door and I would fix dinner and I'd put my kids in front of the TV and I'd feed them. And then I would tell them, I'm going to the garage to work out for an hour. Don't mess with me. I need this time. Then I would come in and I'd clean up and then I'd bathe them and I'd put them to bed. And that's really the time I spent with my kids Monday through Friday. I look back and that season of life is so full of regret, right? But one thing I do know is that I'm a great mom now. I'm a really good mom. And it's because I don't give all of my emotional self to everyone else's children. And that's real and that's raw. And I don't know how you feel about me sharing that because it's embarrassing to say that I wasn't a good mom, but I've told my boys this, and I'm mostly, of course, speaking about my older kids. I've got a almost 14 and 15-year-old who are my best friends who have helped me through a lot. And I've talked to them about the mom that I used to be because they don't remember that mom, right? That was 10 years ago. So they were 4 and 5, 3 and 4. And they don't really remember me being a teacher very much. They remember coming to my classroom, but they just know the life we get to live now. And that's my most proudest accomplishment is that they don't remember me when I was at my worst. And they get to see me at my best. And that's a gift that I can only say has been given to me because of the freedom that I have now that I sell my lesson plans and my resources online. And then I knew when I had my last two kids that I was in a position to financially, emotionally, and mentally support two children the way that they deserved to be treated from the beginning. And that's why I had two more kids, if I'm being honest. And I don't know if you feel that way, if you're a mom or a dad. I don't know. But if you've ever thought about becoming one, and this can apply to animals, this can apply to your faith, it can apply to anything. I want to encourage you to remember that a job is just that. It's work. It takes a lot out of you, but it doesn't have to be that anymore. You don't have to live like that. I work 4 days a week, about 4 hours a day, and I have a great time. I love my life. Now, we have hard days, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I'm just chilling. I'm just living most days. And I hope our team feels the same way. Now, in launch season, we're stressed, right? We got a lot going on, but those days are few and far between. Being able to sell my lesson plans and resources online also gave me the space to think creatively. I got to kind of get out of the box of life for a second and think beyond what I wanted to do. And I got to dream big, and I got to look at the blue sky, and I got to thank God for all the gifts that I've been given. And I grew myself as a person in my free time. I was able to walk to pick my kids up from school. I was able to walk my dogs. I was able to start a garden, which I miss so much. I moved to town about a year ago, and I had a lot of land at my old home, but I miss my garden so much. There's something so powerful about planting something and watching God tend to it through the rain and the sun and the stars, and then getting to take your family out there and pick something from the garden and then get to walk inside and to cook it for your family. Like, there is a connection to the spiritual world with gardening that I can't really explain. I know we're going deep here, guys, but I miss it. I miss it. I live in town now, but that's not an excuse. I'm still going to make a garden. And maybe next year. I've gone through a lot in the last year. And so I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace. But also, something that I have more time for is that I am really, really good at hearing God's voice in my life. Not every day, but my intuition is clearer. I think they call it clairvoyance. I'm not sure. And I am not trying to tell you I'm a psychic, because I am not. I only know what I feel, and I only know that God and I are real tight, and that I don't worry a lot about tomorrow, because he shows me that I have to live here. I have to live now. That's actually another one of the things that I started to become present. And being present as a mom is so important, because, guys, we're only given today. I don't complain about washing dishes or doing the laundry anymore. I grab these clothes and I put them in the dryer, and I stop and I say, I'm only given this one day, this one time, this 1 second. And I'm so grateful for the size of these baby clothes, the size of these middle schoolers now wearing big boy clothes. I'm so grateful that I have the time and the space to do one load of laundry a day, so that I'm not overwhelmed with laundry on the weekends. I see my friends snapping pictures they've got 7 loads of laundry because they were too busy working all day, every day. And I don't have that burden, right? I'm able to do those things, and it's easy. I do have a lot of help, right? I do have people that help me. I don't do it all by myself. But I was also given a lot of strength over the last 10 years. I don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to. Um, Selling my lesson plans and my teaching resources, it gave me the strength to leave my marriage. And that, to this day, has been the most defining moment probably in my entire life. But because I was present, and because I could hear God's voice, and because I had the stability of this amazing job, it was 1 second of one moment in one day, but I had it, and I had the strength to leave. And I don't know that I have ever had that revolutionary moment in my life, that time, ever again. But I know that had I not had this job, then none of that would have been possible. And I don't like to get into my personal life, but my only goal was to have a happy life and to have happy kids, and that my kids turn out to be good humans. At this point, that's really my only goal in my life now. And money is so insignificant to that. But it will help us, right? It will help us grow, and we can travel, and we can go, they can give them ways to go to college and all of that. And so I also believe that the more you give, the more you get. And so, in all of this turmoil in my life and all of these hard things that have gone on in the last 10 years, the beauty in all of that is that I have found a new way of life that is open, that is free, that money can't buy. but it also has given me the ability to get to where I am and to not stress about my bank account or about my mortgage or about raising 4 kids. It is, dare I say, easy. It is taking care of people that work for me. It is talking to amazing humans inside of a new mastermind where I had this conversation with someone I think the world of. Stu McLaren is a master, but I won't go into the details of his conversation. But I struggle with money because teachers do, right? And so we had a long conversation, and I'm sure I cried a few tears. But I was like, Stu, I have a hard time asking people for money because I know how hard it is to make money, and I know how hard it is for teachers, and I don't need any more money. I don't need or want for anything in my life anymore. So why continue, right? And the conversation I got to have with him about what money does for other people in his life, it changed me. And I now know why he and so many other people are so successful. I believe there is good money and there is dirty money. I believe that you can make money the right way as a good person, as a good human, and you can use that to further the kingdom of God or further the lives of other people or grant other people gifts that you never would have been able to do before. And then I believe there is dirty money that you make on the backs of other people, that you do by doing things sideways, that you do by not living right by others. And you have to make a choice. And what's so beautiful about teachers is that I know I know you're good people. I know who you are. I know where you came from. I know what you're trying to accomplish. And that's what our membership gets to give you, is that we get to make good money together. And I want you to not think like I think sometimes. Money is not bad. Money is not the root of all evil. In fact, I've seen it be the root of the most beautiful good. And I wish I could share some of the stories, but I didn't ask for permission, so I don't want to put anyone's personal business out there. But I want you to write down 10 ways that you could use money selling your lesson plans and your teaching resources for good, other than for your benefit, other than for your family's benefit. But how could you benefit the lives of other people? And I'm going to do this exercise today too. I'm going to write down 10 different ways, because I think that when you forget your why, you get lost in it, right? All right, I'm rambling at this point. Let me keep going. I also have begun to lose my ego. It's a work in progress, friends. Okay. It's a work in progress. It's easy to look on my social media right now and be like, oh, that's a complete lie. Because in the marketing world, you do have to boost yourself up a lot to be able to draw awareness to what you sell. But I am trying my best to lose my identity to self of I am my business. I am worthy because I have this success. I am important. I am trying my best to lose my sense of ego and my sense of pride and just be me, just be Casey, just be present in every single moment. And I say all of these things to say that I would not have been able to feel this way emotionally and spiritually without selling my lesson plans and my resources online. And this episode was about things that you can do that don't involve a new car or a new home. This involves a new way of life that you can embark on today by joining our membership, that you can start the process of, one that won't take you as long as it took me, because we have a proven pathway to success. I'll do a quick recap of things that I am so happy now I get to do, now that I have the freedom and flexibility that I've always wanted. It allowed me to leave a job I was unhappy with. It allowed me to fall back in love with being a mom. It gave me space to think creatively. It grew me as a person in my free time, and I got to do things like gardening. I got really good at hearing God's voice. I was granted the strength to leave my marriage. I found a new way of life that is open, that is free. I learned from remarkable humans that taught me the power of giving for good. I became present in most of my days. And although I'm not perfect at it, I am learning to lose my ego. It's going to be 50 years in the making, I know, but I'm working on it every single day. The doors are open to the CEO Teacher membership until Sunday, June the 30th. I hope that you'll join us. I hope that you don't miss out this year to be able to become our next CEO Teacher. You can go to caseymorris.com/join to sign up right now. And as always, remember, your best is yet to come. Thank you for listening, and thank you for letting me be vulnerable today. I hope you have a beautiful day.